Well, hello.
Hello again.
It's been a little bit. Should be maybe a couple videos coming up at once. We've had a lot going on. Welcome to Running to the Cruise. I'm Emily,
I'm Kevin.
and it is good to have you here. I just want to say a special shout out to all of my students. We started the new year.
It's
Late year.
Late August 2022.
Yeah, some of you have subscribed to the channel, and I love that. Going to be coming at you with all kinds of travel stuff. If you're new to what it is that we do, we are first and foremost married for almost 25 years.
Yep, coming up in May.
We're parents, we are runners, and we are cruise lovers.
So,
Cruise lovers.
This channel again is about our adventures in cruising and traveling and running, and some other nuggets about maybe life in general. So.
Yes, and if you'd like to have stories about crazy puppies, we've got one of those too.
Yes.
She's right here. This girl has been for miles upon miles of walking. Listen, and she's still playing. Yeah, she's been up since 6 o'clock. It's like 10:30, no nap. She's 10 months old. Yeah, we love her. She's part of our little fam here. And eventually, once the vet clears us too, we're going to run her a lot because that's going to be real good for her as she gets older. But, okay, we got to catch everybody up. Okay, let's start from the beginning. First of all, if you haven't seen it yet, he's going to put up a video. I flew an airplane.
Yeah, we discussed it a bit. So, yeah, we can go through that. That was back in July, was it now?
Yes.
So
it was.
It was a while ago.
And it really made an impact. I actually made it kind of the theme of my class that this year we were going to fly. We're going to be forthright, meaning we're going to be open and honest about everything. In our classroom, we are going to be loyal. That means we're showing up, we're doing everything that we need to do, and we are going to have a yearning for learning. I know, it's very Dr. Seuss-like. But we're going to come into the classroom and we are going to yearn to learn and make sure that every day we're coming away with some takeaways, because that's what life is all about. Every day you can learn something. So that had such an impact. That's what we did. So if you haven't watched that video, it'll be up soon.
It may be up actually after this one. We'll see.
It might. I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. So I guess we should start at the beginning.
Do you want to discuss your hand, or you want to discuss our new adventures? Yeah.
Do you want me to just address the elephant in the room maybe first?
Sure, if you want to talk about your hand.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. So, as some of you might know, I am a certified chef. That's what I do. I teach a culinary arts specialty program at a high school here in Prince William County, Virginia, right outside of like Fairfax. We're really close to Manassas. About 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. It was this time of morning, and we had just gone and done our exercising and everything. And I was cutting a bagel. I call it the most evil bagel in history. But I was actually doing it the right way, where you have to have the bagel laying down. And no, we don't have a bagel guillotine, although I did put that on my Santa's wish list this year. Yes. So I was cutting it the right way. But I didn't have a cutting board because I was just trying to cut it. I was doing it. And the knife kicked up and went right here into my hand. Smallest cut. Didn't really even bleed all that much. I'm talking one tissue, but it severed a part of my ulnar nerve. So immediately it was like a light switch went off, and I had no feeling whatsoever, except for maybe some pins and needles periodically in my pinky. And after going to the ER, they were like, you're not even bleeding. We're not going to stitch it. Like, you have to go to a hand specialist. So I met the lovely Dr. Miller in Centerville. I think he's in Reston, Virginia as well.
Yeah, by the way, it's not easy to find a hand specialist, apparently. He was basically it. Luckily, he seemed to be a very good hand specialist, but in Northern Virginia, there are lots of people, not a lot of hand specialists.
No, not at all. But listen, most of my family, I'm from Pennsylvania on the eastern side, but my mom's side of the family is from the Pittsburgh area. This doctor, Pittsburgh, born and raised and trained, and I will just tell you what, great. The experience, for as bad as it was as smooth as possible. He was great. Had this done roughly a week and a half ago now. And we this was all like in a big arm club thing, almost like it was broken, even though it wasn't. But so I hadn't seen my wrist in like a week. But anyway, we put a brace on it, and I'm doing hand exercises, and it is healing beautifully. And fun fact, remember I talked about taking away yearning for learning? Here's a fun fact. If you ever sever a nerve, your nerves can grow at 1 millimeter a month.
To repair themselves, okay? Yeah.
Who knew? So that's why this is here, keeping it in position at 1 millimeter a month. In about a year, yes, a year, patience, have to have patience. I should have full range of motion and feeling in my pinky again. So, yeah, it's been interesting starting the school year with this, but I have amazing students who have helped and just made it as seamless as possible. So that's good.
And I guess the other big news here,
Big news.
well, kind of big news.
I think it's big news.
Is I guess I'm trying to venture into, we'll see how it goes, being a part-time Expedia cruise consultant, travel agent. So I went ahead, and there's an office out of Falls Church, Virginia, I'm affiliated with. So not going to impact my main job, which is over 40 hours a week as it is, but on the nights and weekends, try to maybe help people, a couple people a week, find some cruises and book those. So I got to get through a little bit of training, and then in the next couple weeks, and I'll be ready to try to book some vacations. We'll have to see how it goes. I think it's a good fit. I mean, we love to cruise. We're passionate about it. We've been on a lot of cruises. We know what to do, what not to do, which cruise lines are for certain people, which ones aren't. For the most part, there's some we haven't been on. So, and
which is the second part of the big news, is our goal now. We've switched. Now that he's doing this, and I mean, eventually I'll probably, right now with teaching, it's just so my focus with this program that I have and my students, but I'm going to be assisting him when he needs it. But we want to see as many different cruise lines and ships as we can, so he can recommend things. We have never been on Princess. We've never been on Celebrity at this point, and we've never been on MSC.
yeah, and we have one book for Virgin. We haven't been there.
But we are booked for a Virgin Voyages cruise, which
yeah.
keeps looking better all the time.
Yeah.
I've got that thing marked on my 2024 calendar with a big red heart.
Yeah. So we had mentioned we were going on to Epic in over spring break. I think we're going to defer that deposit to some time way in the future. And once I actually get access to whatever I have, that might be my first booking as ourselves. How it works is I don't think I would actually get a discount. There are probably some things that I guess Expedia books ahead of time. They lock in rates early, so that's really what you can give. Maybe some cruise credits as well, but I will be able to pay myself, so the bit of commission back on it. So we'll see how that works. I think we're gonna end up booking an MSC. I can't remember if it's Seaside or Divina out of Miami over spring break instead of going to Puerto Rico. Part of this is to
See a new cruise line.
To see a new cruise line. We're also trying to get our younger one through college while still doing all this. We've gotten our older one
watch our
through.
money.
Yep.
Gotta watch our money.
And the one to going out of Puerto Rico was 7 days. It was a great deal, but it was still kind of expensive. So
we'll get there
this
someday.
will be less than half the cost. So it's something we can keep doing, and while getting him through. And our older one has a plan to start helping us out. He's graduated, and but it looks like it's going to be a line on something, but it'll be probably another 6 months before he's really able to do much. So
yeah, it's a little preparation work that has to be done behind the scenes before he can take this job that he has a line on right now. But meanwhile, he's going to do some awesome work helping out by substitute teaching in Prince William County schools where we're at. So
yeah, 2023, I think we'll have to kind of pick and choose a little as carefully as we can.
So, and again, just to reiterate a few things, and then I have a couple questions for you so you can clarify to them kind of the scenario with booking a cruise through a cruise travel agent or whatever, like how does that all work? But I would have to start by saying for us making the decision, yes, it's financial as far as going all the way and taking that big cruise and the Epic through Puerto Rico. We look to save money wherever we can, but we've been on the Epic. This will be our 4th time on the Epic if we go, which is fine.
Yeah, it was more
It's fine.
That one was more for places we haven't been, but
Yeah,
we'll get there.
We will.
And we'll do the Southern Caribbean eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but
it's not going to be that much different than the East and Western Caribbean. So
no, our
especially-
goal on spring break is to get warm, because up here it can still be real cold over spring break.
By March and April, I'm ready for some heat.
We need to get warm. And, also, one of the big things is while we're still mobile and able to run the way we are, we invested in going down to Disney World in February to run the Princess, I think it's either the Glass Slipper Challenge or a Fairy Tale Challenge. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah,
I've heard it both ways.
We'll be running
If anybody's-
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
basically.
Run
It's
Disney
one of their
people
challenges
that might
we'll
be
do the
watching.
10K and half.
Yeah.
But
But it's not inexpensive to go down there and do that. And once we get closer into that, we're going to maybe do some videos about what a Run Disney event looks like and talk to you about why we do the Run Disney weekends the way we do. We do it a little differently than other people. Part of that is we like things the way we like them the night before a race, and having a specific scenario where we might be in a resort with 9,000 children running around. I love kids. This is why I'm a teacher. But if I got to get up at 2:00 in the morning to get into a car by like 2:45 to get to a start line by 4, I'm going to want a little peace and quiet. So we'll talk about that when we get closer in. But are you okay with answering some questions?
I can try.
Okay. So I want you to know that whenever he starts his business, no one is ever paying him any money. The cruise line pays him. So basically the cruise line uses their cruise travel agents to get people to come onto these cruises. They offer great rooms, great prices, a lot of perks. But he gets paid from these cruises not by any customers. He would get paid by the cruise line. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I guess officially, and I didn't understand this till recently, and when I was filling out the paperwork this week, is the commission. So what I'll be able to book it at, except for those rooms and the promotions that they have, will probably look a lot like what you can book it online. I mean, there is access, especially it seems like Princess and Royal, that they book a whole bunch of stuff cheaply. So there will be some discounts that I'll be aware of. And I think every month they have a promotion, which would probably beat the online. But if you're just looking for any old cruise that doesn't do that, it'll probably be the exact same thing as what you'd get booking it yourself online. But then the cruise line would pay a commission to Expedia, which would then filter down to I guess the people who I affiliated with in Falls Church, and then finally I actually invoice them, and that's how I get paid. So I would only get a certain percentage of the I think it's only 40% of the actual commission. So the 60% goes to everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's where we arrived at this. He is very, very adept at getting online, finding deals. He knows where to look for things and do things. So for him, when we've booked in the past by ourselves, it's been great. We have not done everything perfectly in the past, but we've been really good at keeping the budget that we have to spend, having the best experiences that we can because of you and your expertise. People can do this on their own, but there's some people that are like, I don't want to. I want somebody else to find this perfect cruise for me, to tell me what it is that I can do. And then I just want to just get there. I just want to get there and go on vacation. I don't want to worry about which deal and this room and this and that. This is where someone like him would come in if you're just not in the mood to do it.
Time consuming. And then I also know what the difference is between newer boats, older boats, the experience, the difference between at least the 3 lines that we've been on. We also watch a lot of travel stuff. So even on the things that like I feel like I have a pretty good feel for like what a Princess Cruise would be, and the difference between that and say Carnival, which is its same organization, and who that would go
Different
with,
brand
and,
within the same umbrella company.
I mean, and then obviously you got like your Holland America that's going to kind of be for your older crowd who
Maybe we haven't tried it yet.
or a more upscale crowd potentially. So
Think the Love Boat, people. Okay, I just aged myself right there. The show The Love Boat. Kids, if you're watching this, please go like Google who Captain Merrill Stubing is. I think that was his first name, Merrill. I don't know. And Gopher and Doc and Julie. This is where cruising really came onto the map when they put this show on. I think the Love Boat. I could sing the theme, but then you would all stop watching this video. So no.
But if there's something important to you, like Kids Club or internet or what to do on the boat or ports, I mean, that's where I would be able to get that information very quickly and know where to go, where it would take somebody else. It's basically a time savings. That's what you'd be, and it's not going to cost you anything. It's going to be the same cost that it is.
Cruise company
online.
eventually filters down
Yeah.
to him or somebody in his position. So, definitely keep an eye out. Once everything starts rolling, you'll probably talk a little bit more about how that is going. But there was another question that I was going to ask you about all this, but I don't remember what it was. So maybe if I remember it, we'll put it in another video. But I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
In life, I think you need to take the stuff that you love and try to provide opportunity, whether it be financial or just basic opportunity, to participate in as many things that brings your heart happiness and joy as much as possible. Right now, for me, it's my students, it's my job, my teaching. That brings me such joy. I also have a great joy I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't like cruising, right? I love it. I love travel. I love food. So all of that plays into my joy right now. His joy, while he loves his job, and it's that.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that. So it's
and
there wasn't a lot of commitment. So if I just don't have the time for it, or I'm not getting the enough business in to really make it worth my while, then I could really stop at any time. And it only costs like $150 to start.
Yeah.
So,
kind of a win-win. 7 Habits. Anybody from my high school, we do Stephen Covey's win-win.
So hopefully it'll work out as I think it'll work out, but we'll have to keep you updated as time goes on.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff coming. So MSC is the one that we're really going to try to get into for spring break. I think that's a thing. And that was the other question. Oh my gosh. I remembered. Because we have a deposit down with Norwegian for spring break and we want to change it out. Can you explain what happens, like if you change your mind and you want to go somewhere else? You don't want to do it.
Usually, if you book another cruise out in the future, they'll just carry your deposit over. So that's really what we're looking to try to do.
Yes.
So I probably, for this, just because we have so much going on, try to just maybe push that deposit out all the way as far as I can to 2025.
Norwegian Viva, Norwegian Prima, all of their new ships that are coming out. I think that's what we're looking to do.
Yep.
So we'll see. And then that deposit would be there. We have a spot on the ship. I think it's called an FCC, a Future Cruise Credit. Is that what they would say?
No, that's actually just more of a deposit.
This is why he's doing this.
That would just go. They would just carry that on.
Oh, okay.
So I think we did get 2-for-1 deposits with that, so hopefully they still wouldn't make me pay anymore, which would be the thing. So they usually do not give you your deposits back, though, if you just cancel out, because that's.
So relative speaking, it's like $250 that you have to put down for the most part
per person. Each cruise line's a little bit different. I think Virgin was 20%. Carnival might have been something similar to that. So it was a little bit more for
but they're very willing to, if you're like, yeah, something came up, I can't really go and do this. For the most part, up until how many months before can you switch it out?
So it depends on the cruise line. Most of them are 3 months before you start being penalized, and I think NCL is actually a little longer. They're 4 months before. So
okay.
Chances are, I think we pretty much made our mind not to do the Norwegian. So once I get set up in our system. I think we pretty much made up our mind to do the MSC.
Yeah.
So I'll book that through the system, which will, at least I'll pay myself a little bit. And then I have to figure out the taxes, so I might be able to deduct everything that we're doing too. So I don't know.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I'm glad you're doing that, though.
Yeah, and then we'll move
I love
the
you
other one
madly,
out.
and I'm glad you're going to be doing something that
Yeah, hopefully it works out.
that's exciting for you.
And if it doesn't, like I said, it's
At first, when we had this conversation, like this week, this is my first week back for school from the summer. And if anybody is involved in teaching, you pretty much know that when you get home from school that first week, you're like, and you are tired and you just want to sit down and stare at a wall. And he was so excited about it. I was like, okay, we're going to meet with this person. And I was like, ah. So now after I've rested a little bit, I've talked to him and been like, absolutely, I support this 100%, whatever I can do to help. But at the time I was like, oh my God, one more thing I can't even think about it. But I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I definitely am very, very, very happy to try different cruise lines and see. Not that we don't like the ones that we've been on. Royal is great. Carnival is great. Norwegian is great. All of them. But there's other cruise lines out there and there's other experiences. And we don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's time to start using our hard-earned travel dollars to get out there and figure out what it is that we don't know. So
And if this is something we do long term, the more information we have, the more different experiences we have, the more we can help
Absolutely.
people.
Who knows? We could be the cruise travel gurus for our retirement thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good part-time.
It is.
You can do a certain amount of stuff after you retire officially, so that could be something we do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Well, hopefully we'll be coming back at you. We've got 2 races coming up in October. Next weekend is Labor Day. We may come to you from the Outer Banks again.
Yep.
I'd like to do a food focus down there if we could on some of our favorites. There's 2 restaurants that we love down there, the Kill Devil Grill, and I think it's the Blue Moon. It's Blue something. I think it's Blue Moon.
I'm pretty sure it's Blue Moon.
Those 2
Yeah.
restaurants are just my heart. And when we go down there, it's awesome. But it'll be good to see my mom and my family and sit on a beach with you. And we might come from down there. But we do have 2 races coming up. We are going to do the 10K on the runway at Dulles Airport.
Yeah, they're back-to-back weekends. First weekend in October, I think it's October 1st, and then
The Army 10 miler.
which we've never done before.
No.
So
Hey, how'd your run go this morning, just by the way?
it was hot, but good. Still hot here in Virginia. It should be cooling down in September. It's a little warmer than I think it's supposed to be even now. But
I think it is. But, hey, it's fine. You get done what you gotta get done.
It was hotter than I think the last 2 longer runs. We didn't do one last weekend, but the 2 before that, we actually had really good weather for August, early August. But it was a little hotter today. But it was good.
I got cleared. I don't always follow directions. And students of mine, do as I say, not as I do, because sometimes I don't necessarily follow directions. But I got cleared to run roughly a week after this surgery. Once I got this on, I was able to run again. So my first run was at school on Friday morning.
Yes.
I did. I'm losing track of days. I was so tired at the time. But I did 2 miles and it felt okay. So this morning, my run, I stretched and did 6 miles. This is the first time I did 6 miles in a long time without having to walk for any amount of time. So it was good. It was very, very hot. When I got back, I could tell I was dehydrating. So I'm going to need to work on that factor. But I'm excited. I'm excited for these races that are coming up too.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. Lots of stuff today. Well, anyway, wherever you are, where you're watching this, I'm hoping that you are having a restful and enjoyable weekend. And from us here at Running to the Cruise, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.